Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It has been 1 week since the launch of patch 6.4, bringing a wide range of changes to PvP, and with a few more tweaks would put PvP in the greatest state it has ever been in. The community as a whole are still testing things and warming to the changes. Give it a few weeks and most players should better understand the new Fields of Glory. Up next is a match on the brand new Fields of Glory, and I shall be giving my personal opinions on PvP as it currently is. Thanks again to you all for supporting my channel. Thanks to you, we are so close to 1000. And welcome anyone new to the channel. And with no more delays, let's get into it. Let's begin with the new Fields of Glory. I really like what they have done with the map change. It has been simplified into a triangle pattern. Each team has the same equal chance with the 4 large crystals. Out of the spawn gates, should the large crystal spawn to your left, you have the advantage, being able to rush right down the ramp. Should the crystal spawn to your right, your team will have to brave the cliff. The height difference and the ways to navigate it make it easier to climb down, with plenty of ledges in which long-range jobs can take advantage. But the payoff from the old map design is now there is no route back around the side, trapping you and your team in the corner with your backs against the wall. Meanwhile, the third team will rush through mid, holding your choke, while also being able to gain some score from the crystal, and even better, getting to third party both teams to snare easy kills and early battle highs. A better strategy I have learned, should the large crystal spawn to the right of your spawn point, instead of dropping off from the cliff, instead maybe have just a few range jobs head that way. Then the main group instead, head down the middle ramp, let the third team push in, then push in behind them. This way you can sandwich them between both teams, without your team being forced into a corner. And with the score being first to 2000, obtaining battle highs is still the most important objective. You will not believe just how much of an influence multiple battle highs will have towards the late game. The issue with the new Fields of Glory, however, is the small crystals. A few of you and many others during matches have made the joke it feels like PvE, and you're alright. I can see what the intent was. Having all these small objectives spawn around was designed to break up the teams, to have smaller groups breaking off to obtain these objectives, or to contest other small parties doing the same. However, as it currently stands, I feel these smaller crystals spawn far too frequently. There is no objective downtime, and many players are just jumping from one crystal to another. This is leaving most teams split and confused. I think, if at the very least, they half the spawn rate and possibly even remove just a few of the small crystals, teams will be forced to take more team battles outside of the large crystal spawns, as there will be times with no objectives up. And with less around, teams must decide on how to approach, whether it's to rush a crystal, hold a choke, or third party another team, or to even simply farm battle highs ready for the late game. For the centre of the map, I feel this is a large improvement. There's still the one large crystal, but the walls are done better. Allows for large flanks and outline of sighting your enemies, while at the same time making it harder for another team to just rush straight through the centre to pick off your backline. Aside from these small crystals spawning too often, I feel this version of Fields of Glory is certainly better than the original. Let me know below what you think of the changes and what you would all like to see in the future. Next, I want to touch on some of the balancing. It is still early days, but from this first week, I feel they have nailed quite a lot. Playing tank, especially the Dark Knight, I can certainly feel the damage nerf and resistance change, but not enough that it takes away from playing tank. It is, however, more punishing jumping into large groups, as the enemy teams have a lot more means to punish me. A good change tanks needed. It has also been very nice to have more survivability. On both the Red Mage and the Dancers, seeing a lot more being played. The Dancer's ultimate allows them to interrupt the flow of fights. It has been wonderful to shut down big groups and open up easy kills. I am also a big fan, seeing much more love coming to the Reaper. Having their Gibbet and Gallows swapped out for the Guillotine has made a huge difference. Not only are you far more impactful during group fights, but this multi-hitting target ability really plays into their kills and assists, which becomes immortal stacks, which Reapers need for their extremely powerful burst combo. And next, I know a few people are disappointed with the nerf to the Bard's Silence, but honestly it makes sense. Being able to sit back safe, while being able to shut down someone's entire hotbar was extremely powerful. Now, at the very least, they need to come much closer to the battle, making it possibly easier to snare the Bard. The damage buffs and the bonus resistance to the Warden's Payon have been very impactful. With my friend playing Bard the other day, he was able to set up easy kills for me, and thanks to Warden's Payon, I could escape with great ease. And thanks to the limit gauge changes, there is more reason to now play Bard. Their ultimate will charge the limit gauge of teammates nearby, and is much more impactful than before. Another job I am loving so far is the Machinist. Thanks to the resistance changes, using Drill comboed into your limit break is god tier. Being able to explode a target from great range has allowed me to shut down other range jobs, which make it harder for the group to make big plays. Another welcome change this season is the duration decrease in how long crowd control effects last. Overall, being CC'd for a shorter duration makes fights in 1v1s and small groups come down more to the players who understand how to play their role more. However, the original issue with crowd control still persists. A main example would be if you're the one making the play to open up opportunities for your team. You find yourself being spammed with crowd control, permanently shutting you down until you die. I feel if this could be addressed, crowd control would be in a really good spot. Perhaps a big change to Purify. As it stands, it is not that great against spam. One idea I had would be that you can only be struck by a certain amount of CC, let's say 3 to 5, before you gain a short duration in which you become immortal to crowd control effects. That way focusing a single target could still grant an easy kill, but would open a better chance of escape if you had a small 2 to 3 second window of immortality against CC. Players would then also have to time their crowd control better, rather than copy the crowd and spam one poor target. Again, let me know in the comments how you would like to see crowd control changed further. Another wonderful change this season was the removal of the limp effect. Before you had to be careful while on a mount or while mounting up. Getting limped was basically a death sentence, oftentimes getting you stuck on your mount. But now being forced off our mount has been a much welcome change. It still interrupts, but you are no longer punished as harsh as before. You can even get back to teamfights much faster, without the need to dismount early. And last up, I don't know about the rest of you, but to me PvP feels a lot more responsive. I am not having to spam buttons a few times in order to get the activation to go through. But overall, I would say this season is off to a good start. Once players adjust, and any following PvP changes we might get in the next few patches, I truly think it will put Frontline in the best state it has ever been in. Let me know your thoughts as well below. I am always interested to see what you all come up with. Thanks again for tuning in to today's video, and I shall see you all in the next one.